Welcome back. So yesterday we talked about the Houston Bank Nationals and 15 drivers that I thought were going to be good over the course of 4 days there at the Brandon, South Dakota racetrack. And today I'm going to talk about the other big race that is taking place this week, starting on Thursday and going through Saturday. It is the Jim Raper Memorial Dirt Cup that pays $100,000 to win. There's $300 to lead a lap. So I think the most you could win on Saturday is like 112 grand or something like that. So a really, really good payday coming up here for SKAGIT Speedway. And it is the only race that's over 100,000 to win that is not a national touring event. So giving the opportunity for some guys, that don't have to race against the best guys to make some pretty serious cash here. So I've got, just like yesterday's video, I've got 5 long shots, and then I've got my top 10 guys that I think have the best chance to win this upcoming week at SKAGIT Speedway. So like we did yesterday, we'll start at the bottom row and make our way to the top. The number one guy is going to be very tough to beat, but maybe one of these other guys can take him down. We'll start at number 15, and I'm going to put Landon Brooks right there in the Bates Hamilton Racing number 21L. Last year, Landon Brooks had 4 starts there in local action. He had 4 top 5 finishes and a victory. That was driving the Shannon Wheatley number 45, but this is a new car this year for Landon Brooks. He started on the pole last year with high limit during one of the SKAGIT Nationals main events. He did get into a wreck there running in the top 5, but he did put himself in position to be on the pole of one of those races. And he has shown speed all year long, I feel like. Just really doesn't have the results to show for it. He started on the front row of a couple of these fastest 5 days in motorsports events. He's led laps in a bunch of races this year, but does not have a win to show for it. But maybe this week could be the week for Landon Brooks. He does have 1 career victory over there at SKAGIT that came just last year. Now, we'll move our way over here to this column. The 10th place guy that I think is going to be pretty darn good here coming up this week is going to be in a new car. And I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm going to put him here anyways. Corey Eliason. First night behind the wheel of that previously mentioned Shannon Wheatley number 45 that was originally this year driven by Hank Davis. They ran a couple of races up there. Davis, with limited 410 experience, was able to run well. Corey Eliason is a guy that has a ton of 410 experience. Things have not gone well for Corey Eliason over the last 2 years. We know that. Last year, he had an 8th place finish with high limit racing during the SKAGIT Nationals. That's his best ever finish at SKAGIT. He only has, I think, 6 or 7 starts there, but he is in a ride that has plenty of laps at this racetrack. Shannon Wheatley is from that area of the country, so that car has ran plenty of laps. He's been there as a crew chief a ton as well. And I feel like Corey Eliason has something to prove right now. And so that leads me to believe that he is going to be driving his ass off to prove that he deserves to be in this car and in the spotlight more than he is right now in all of the bad ways. I feel like people are kind of doubting Corey Eliason's abilities here recently, but we'll see if this week he can do something and maybe make something spectacular happen in that number 45 car. I like Corey Eliason a lot, and I just think he has not been in the right situation here as of recently. Maybe this week can turn things around for him. He will be driving the number 45 for Shannon Wheatley this weekend. Now, over here, we'll move on to this column, and that's where you're going to find one of the several high-limit racing invaders for this week. I'm going to put Brent Marks right here, and this might be a little bit low for Brent, considering how good he's been there at SKAGIT the last couple of years. He did have a 4th place finish last year with high limit at the SKAGIT Nationals. He has 2 wins this year with high limit, both of those coming on big racetracks. He got one at Texas and one at Port Royal. But looking at his stats, he's been very good this year on the shorter racetracks as well. Does not have any wins, but a couple of top 5s, quite a few top 10s as well. Last year with high limit, he was 4th, 7th, and 8th during the SKAGIT Nationals. And I feel like he's just been kind of under the radar all year long. I can't remember, somebody mentioned it on a video I was watching that, Brent Marks hasn't been very good this year, blah, blah, blah. Well, like last week, he was still only I think he was 8 points out of the championship lead with high limit. Now he's back to 30. But Brent Marks was 4 positions away from taking the points lead with high limit. He has been very good all year long, just been under the radar. And so I think with Marks and a couple of these other guys on the board, not having to deal with the likes of Corey Day and Brad Sweet, and all the rest of the guys, Tyler Courtney, right? And, I'm missing some obviously in there, but not having to deal with the full, high limit racing roster all the time. this is going to be a good opportunity for a guy like Brent Marks to sneak up there and maybe grab a big payday over the next couple of days at SKAGIT. Now, back over to the long shots, and I have to write this one down because I do not have a sticker or a magnet for him. I'm just going to put his last name on here. And that is going to be Dominic Gordon, who drives the number 10 car. I will get one of his magnets, I promise you that. But he does have one career 410 victory to his credit that came last year during the Dirt Cup. And it was a pretty big shocker of a win. Certainly the biggest win of Dominic Gordon's career at the time. He held off Justin Sanders. He held off Corey Day to get the job done in that one. A very impressive win. He was also 11th and 8th in the other two main events during the Dirt Cup last year. And then last year in a 360 at SKAGIT Speedway, he drove from 18th to get the win. I'm not sure what happened. I don't remember seeing the highlights to that race at all. But if you can drive from 18th to 1st in a 360 at SKAGIT, they have a pretty good local contingent of 360s up there. That is an impressive feat right there. So Dominic Gordon, I think, could be a long shot. He proved last year that he can get the job done at SKAGIT. He won a NARC race this year at Placerville during, I believe it was the Mark Forney Classic. So Gordon has been improving steadily over the last couple of years, and it could be a good week coming up for him. Now, over here to number 9, that is where you're going to find the 18T of Tanner Holmes. Last year, Holmes, or not last year, but in 2022, his best ever finish at SKAGIT Speedway in a 410 was a second place finish during the Dirt Cup. That was on a prelim night. Also, during that year, he ran well, but it wasn't exactly the greatest week total for him, but a second place finish was very, very good. In 2023, he ran 4th, 2nd, and 5th during the Dirt Cup races. And then last year, he was 3rd, 8th, and 16th. So he's been in contention a couple of times during the Dirt Cup. And he was also 4th with the World of Outlaws there in 2023. So Tanner Holmes really, really likes SKAGIT Speedway. That race in particular was in the Shark Racing 1T. But still, I mean, he knows how to get around this racetrack. He's been in contention for wins there, and it could be a good week coming up here for Tanner Holmes. He's had some bad luck this year. There is no doubt about that. But maybe, just maybe, he can, get that luck behind him and get into victory lane at some point this week over the next 3 days. Now, over here to number 4, and that's where you're going to find a former Dirt Cup champion, and that's where I'm going to put Justin Sanders at. He does have one career win in a 410 at SKAGIT, and that was the 2023 Dirt Cup Championship. Last year, he was 2nd, and 4th in the 3 races there. And then with High Limit Racing during the SKAGIT Nationals, he was 3rd, 6th, and 6th. And he's got 5 410 wins this year already, along with, I want to say, 4 other wins in a 360 as well. Sanders has been all over the podium during the fastest 5 days in motorsports leading up to the SKAGIT National, or during leading up to the Dirt Cup, but has not been able to get a win during this little northern tour that they're on right now. But we've seen Sanders compete for wins and already win this race before. So, I mean, he might be a little bit low, but I'm going to put him at 4th for now. He could prove me wrong and be one of the top guys. I mean, he is going to be one of the top guys, but he could be a top 3 guy. But for right now, I'm going to put Justin Sanders at 4th position for this video. The 2X is always fast. We'll see what he can do throughout this week. Now, over here to 13th. Let me remember who this. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sometimes I forget who is where, but this is where I'm going to put Joel Myers Jr. He is going to be driving a Willie Kane car, the number 4 Willie Kane car. Willie Kane is up from that area, so been to SKAGIT a million times. And earlier this year, in this car, Joel Myers Jr. did run 3rd on April 26th during one of the local shows over there. So he's got some laps in this car, got some laps at this track in this car this year. In 2022, Joel Myers Jr. ran 4th against the Outlaws at SKAGIT Speedway, and he could be sneaky. I mean, I feel like Joel Myers Jr. is a pretty darn good driver. He got a win earlier this year at the IRA at Wilmot against a really stout field. He was in the top 10, the hard charger with High Limit at the 141 Speedway earlier this year as well. Joel Myers Jr., I think him and Willie Kane have something good going on there. He ran a couple races during the fastest 5 days in motorsports. The results were a little bit mixed. But we'll see what transpires upcoming for Joel Myers Jr. in the number 4 car for Willie Kane. I think it could be a pretty darn good combination for the Dirt Cup. Now, let's go right here to number 8 on our list, and that is another former Dirt Cup champion, and he could be a little bit low. but I'm going to go with Dominic Selzie right there in the number 8 position. His best ever run outside of the 2021 Dirt Cup Championship. That was in a 360, but he was the 2021 Dirt Cup champion, so he's had success there. His best ever run outside of that in a 410 was a second place finish with the NARC Sprint cars during the Dirt Cup week in 2022. He was third during the finale of that Dirt Cup, and then he was fourth in 2023. And during this fastest 5 days in motorsports, Selzie has been all over the podium. Second, third, fifth, second, and third in those 5 nights. Been very, very consistent. Does not have the winning speed, but he's going to be right there in the mix, I think, all week long for all 3 nights of the Dirt Cup. He's won the event before, and, how can you not cheer for Dominic Selzie, one of the most liked drivers in all of sprint car racing. I hope to see him have a good week, but I've got him at number 8 right now heading into this week of action at Skagit Speedway. Now, number 3 on our list is where you're going to find another high limit racing full-timer, and that is going to be Justin Peck. And Peck, he does not have a ton of experience at this racetrack, but this is the boss's race. I mentioned this during the video yesterday with David Gravel. It was the boss's race, that one. For Peck, it's the boss's race for this one. You know that he is going to want to try and contend and be in the mix for the win to, make the boss happy and all that good stuff, right? But he only has 3 Skagit Speedway starts to his credit, and that was last year with High Limit Racing. His best run was a 5th place finish. The rest of the other 2 races, he was outside the top 10. So I don't know how things will go for Justin Peck, but he has been fast all year long. And I think that, like I said earlier with Marks, not having to contend with, all the different high limit full-time drivers, I think that this could certainly play into his benefit here. He does have 2 high limit racing wins this year, Ransomville Speedway and over at Butler Motor Speedway, and he probably should have won at Kokomo as well. Peck has been fast all year long, and I think that this could be a good week coming up for him. With I guess a little bit less competition, but still a really, really good field showing up this weekend at Skagit. Give him number 3 for me in this video. Number 12 on our list is going to be another driver that I'm going to have to write in here, and a little bit of a surprise entrant into this event, I feel like. I mean, this is a little off the porch for Scott Beuski in that number 78 car. And Beuski, like I said, is definitely a surprise entry, but he has been sneaky fast all year long in that number 78 car. And he's been very good at the Dirt Cup before. He actually ran second in 2018 at this race. He started on the pole, led the first lap, got passed by Seth Bergman, but he ended up second in that Dirt Cup, so he's got plenty of laps there. He also ran 5th against High Limit this year at Lakeside Speedway, had a podium run in Knoxville as well. Scott Beuski, I think, going back to a track that he knows very well, in a car that he seems to be gelling with very, very quickly here early on in the season. It could be a recipe for success for Scott Beuski. I'm going to leave him in the long shot column, though, but it is interesting because that car, I feel like, is based out of the Knoxville area, and they're just going to drive right by Houston and come out to Skagit. So very interesting move there for Scott Beuski, but we'll see if it pays off for him later on this week. Now, number 7, another guy I need to write in here. I do want to get his magnet, and that is going to be Jason Soulwald. I feel like you got to have Jason Soulwald on your list here. He was the 2015 Dirt Cup champion, and I'm not sure if this is right. I don't think it is. There's no way. It says on the thirdturn.com that Jason Soulwald only has 1 career 410 sprint car win at Skagit. He's got plenty of 360 wins, but only 1 410 win. I don't believe that, but I'm just going to go with it says. I didn't see a wins list on Skagit's website. So Soulwald, I know he's got more wins than that, but the 2015 Dirt Cup champion, he's currently 2nd in Skagit Speedway points this year. Last year, during this event, he was 5th, 11th, and 6th, so all over the top 10 there for Jason Soulwald. He also is a former World of Outlaws winner here at this racetrack. He did that back in 2008, and Soulwald is one of the best when it comes to running the bottom of this racetrack. If he wins any of the nights, I can guarantee you it's on the inside of the speedway. Soulwald might be getting up there in the age, but man, he can still get the job done, and he is fun to watch and one of the fan favorites out there in that area. So Soulwald, number 7, I think he's going to have a very good week coming up here for the Dirt Cup. Now, back over to number 2, and I mean, come on. He's got to be on the list, right? I mean, the current points leader there, and that's Trey Starks. Trey Starks, from my research and what I could find on the thirdturn.com, he has 8 career 410 wins at Skagit since 2022. He is the current series point leader over there at that racetrack. He has 2 wins this year already in the 410. He won a high limit racing feature there last year during the Skagit Nationals. Last year, though, during the Dirt Cup, things did not go well at all for Trey Starks. 24th, 11th, and 14th in the 3 nights over there. I don't know what happened. I remember watching most of it, but I don't remember what happened to Trey Starks, but he was non-factor Phil. Rename him to Phil Starks after 2024, but I think he's going to get back on track this year and be very good. He was second during the 2021 Dirt Cup, and somehow Trey Starks has not won the Dirt Cup before, but this would be a pretty darn good one to win if he was able to pull off with $100,000 on the line. And we know how good Starks was last year. If he has even remotely that same speed, he is going to be a problem for the rest of the drivers and the rest of the field this week at Skagit Speedway. Now, into our top row, another driver that we need to write in here, and I think I don't know, maybe he should be in the top 10, but I think that he's going to be very good this week, if I can spell his name right, and that was terrible. That is Jesse Schlottfeld. Jesse Schlottfeld, I mean, this kid is getting better and better with every single week that goes by. I've seen him since he was in micros, and it's been fun to watch Jesse Schlottfeld's progression. He did get his first ever NARC sprint car win just a few nights ago at the Cottage Grove Speedway, so he has momentum on his side. He got a win at Skagit earlier this year on May 25th. That is the second 410 win of his career at the racetrack. He was 10th during the 2024 Dirt Cup, and he was 12th with high limit during the Skagit Nationals finale last year. After starting 18th, I think he went 18th to 12th, was in the top 10, slipped back a little bit at the end. But Jesse Schlottfeld got that win with NARC. He's got a winner earlier this year. I think Schlottfeld is in for a very good week. I had a hard time not putting him in the top 10, but that's why I put the long shot category up there, because if Jesse Schlottfeld wins a race this week, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I think he is that good, and I'm excited to see what the young gun can do in the number 21 car heading into this weekend. Now, 2 more drivers to get to, and this is where you're going to find Shane Golovic in the 17W. Golovic did not run the fastest 5 days in motorsports. I'm not sure why or what's going on there, and I'm not sure if he is even running this race, but he's on the entry list. It's just weird that he didn't run the other 5 races, and it's just going to show up for this one. So I don't know what the deal is there. But Golovic was extremely fast last year with high limit racing. He was 2nd, 10th, and 4th in the 3 nights over there during the Skagit Nationals. So, which is weird because he was really bad during last year's Dirt Cup. He did not qualify for one of the races. He was 15th and he was 12th in the 3 nights during Dirt Cup. But like I said, 3 top 10s against high limit against a tougher field. Hopefully that speed continues on at Skagit this weekend. He was 4th during the 2022 running of the Dirt Cup as well. And like I said, no fastest 5 days in motorsports for Shane Golovic. I'm pretty sure he was leading the points with NARC heading into that week and just did not show up. So Golovic, number 6 for me. Hopefully he shows up because he's going to be a guy that contends for a top 5, in my opinion, every single night of this event. Now, number 1, it literally has to be, there's no other person that it can be, and that is going to be James McFaden. I mean, I think McFaden, this is going to be the week where he finally gets the monkey off his back, gets his first ever 6-figure payday. I mean, there's been so many times where he has been like 2nd, 3rd, wrecked out in the middle of running for a 6-figure payday. I think this is the time that he gets it done. And in my opinion, this could be one of the best racetracks of James McFaden's career. And it's a little bit unknown. I had to pull this up on my computer here because it is so impressive. The first time McFaden ever showed up there, his 1 career victory at Skagit came back in 2021, the first time he ever showed up. And the rest of the time McFaden's been there, he's been inside the top 10 with the exception of 1 race where he was leading. A shifter cable broke. He ran almost dead last. Another race with the Outlaws, he started 6th. He got into a wreck and finished 25th. The rest of the nights, I mean, he was 2nd, he was 3rd, 2nd, 4th, 1st, 8th place run. Last year with high limit, he was 8th, 3rd, and 2nd, and he led a couple of laps the last time he was there against the Outlaws and didn't get the win during the Skagit Nationals. James McFaden is so good at this racetrack. Last year, this car was good at this race. I want to say Cole Macedo finished 2nd or 3rd in the finale. He has led 67 laps in 4 different races and only has 1 win at this racetrack. and he has been on a tear since getting into Tarleton 21. Absolute domination with the NARC Sprint Car Series. Wins at Grays Harbor, Willamette, Southern Oregon Speedway. The only one he didn't win was Cottage Grove when Schlottfeld was able to win. James McFaden, I think, is going to be the guy to watch for to win $100,000 this week during the Dirt Cup. And if he does, man, that is going to be so cool because you could tell that he has been wanting to win. I mean, remember back to Perth, man. He was leading that $100,000 race, and Kyle Larson passed him late. And man, I just hope it happens this time for McFaden. He is such an awesome dude and cannot wait to meet back up with him in a few weeks with High Limit Racing. But McFaden is my #1 guy to win the Dirt Cup. Starks, Peck, Sanders, and Marks, the top 5. Then Golovic, Soulwald, Selzie, Holmes, and Elias in top 10. And then my long shots, Jesse Schlottfeld, Scott Beuski, Joel Myers Jr., Dominic Gordon, and Landon Brooks. So let me know your thoughts. Who do you think could win the Dirt Cup? I want to hear all of your thoughts and your picks down in the comment section below. Make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow here on the Rodman Rundown.